Well, wouldn't you know it? Just when the rookie is practicing, we blow a hose. I'm pretty sure this wasn't Imy's fault. These hoses have been banged around, especially these two boom hoses here. They've been banged around and put through their paces for a long time. Actually, it's good in a couple of ways. One, I want to replace all the hoses on this guy. Not yet, but now I'm forced to replace two of them, and I'll learn how. That was a big monster beat. So I want to replace two of them, and I'll learn the sizes that I have to buy, where to buy them, how much they're going to cost me. So it's good that I can do that on just two to start with. It's interesting. You can see that some of these are quick growing, and some of these are slow growing, and they're all in the same pile. Okay, so the bents that we're creating are the front. This is the front post. This is the middle post, and this is the back post. Okay, they're on different elevations because of the concrete foundation. Okay. We have these three bents. Today I'm finishing the back one. We have finished the first two already. To connect these bents, we have these things called tie beams, and we have two in each bent. Okay, and then at the very top, connecting all three, we have a plate like that. Okay, so this structure right here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces of wood. Okay, this is what we're building, and we're building 4 of them. Okay. Now, why does this have 2 pieces at the very top? Because this is a really long beam. I think it's 8 meters long. Okay, so we don't have wood that long, so we have to attach 2 together right there. Okay, and that's going to be a scarf joint, and this is going to happen probably late next week. Okay, after we finish all the tie beams, we'll work on this one.
Where's the tie beam?
The tie beam is this guy right here that ties it's within the bent. Okay, it's part of the bent. Okay, hold on. Yeah, let's call this the bent, right? The tie beam is an important part of the bent. 4 and 5. And then the girts connect the bents together.
Why 7?
Because there's 3 in this area, and then there's there's only 2 in the middle area, because the living room and the staircase are here, so we can't have a girt there. And then I think there's only 2 at the back also, because we have a window. We have a bunch of windows on the back wall, so there's only, I think, 2 at the back. That's 7.
What's the plate?
The plate is the very top part right here. Okay, this is the plate. It's part of the bent as well, and it requires a very sophisticated joint to bring them together. Right. Okay. Okay, for lunch today we're having a pasta salad with pork, vegetables, and sesame dressing, and pickled radish, cucumber, and carrot. This is really good. What's Aimee having? B-chan, that's not for you. No. Aimee is having a couple of onigiri. One of each flavor, one salmon, the other looks like mushroom. Mushroom and fried tofu. B-chan, it's not for you. And octopus, broccoli, and
My favorite.
basil salad. Aimee's favorite. Hey, I'm watching you. Well, there we have it. The posts are all done for the 4 vents. Stacked appropriately, in order, waiting for the next pieces. Now, come back tomorrow and hopefully work on the excavator. Maybe that'll be the day after tomorrow. But anyway, the next lumber that I have to do, even if I have to cart it up here by hand, I can start cutting the tie beams. The tie beams have that lovely wedged tenon on both sides that slots into these wedged mortises that I just finished. Where's Mom? Hey, how's it going? So I think it's about cleanup time. So we got about 30 minutes of cleanup, I think. If you want to come up and help with that, that'll be great. Okay. Looks great from up here. Okay, no, you're gonna have to get off. I think this is too much weight. Yeah. We need the excavator. On these tie beams, they are 200 mil wide or high. They're going to be oriented so the 200 mil side is high. But because they're 200 mil and my planer is only 150, I have to make 2 passes for every plane. The good thing about that, though, is I no longer have to use the chisel to take off these edges at the side that was happening on all the other 150 wide pieces. We have 9 of them. We only need 8, so 1 is sacrificial. And I don't want to intentionally sacrifice 1 of them. I would like to have 1 left over after I do the first 8, something in pristine condition, but I don't know if that'll happen. Anyway, I've got this one all planed and ready to be marked. Okay. Now, before I mark it off, I've been standing here thinking about it and looking at it, deciding which face is up, which face is down. Remember, as a tie beam, several of them will be visible after the house is finished, and so I have to be careful about which side. Mainly it's going to be the bottom and one of the sides that is going to be visible. So I just have to be careful about that. I've been thinking about it a lot, so I'm going to go ahead and mark off what I've decided, and then I can start marking off the tenon. That took all of my effort. No more. I'm not taking these off in one chunk anymore. The cross cutting down this length is just really difficult. And out of all the saws I have, and there are 4 out here right now, nothing can do it well. So I'm going to go back to the same method I used on the half lap joints, which is take the radial saw and I'll make 12 or 15 cuts down this way, and then I'll knock them out with a hammer and chisel out the rest. It's so much easier. I still have to do the wedge in here, 20 mil up this way and then down to there, wedge, and then I'll bevel or chamfer the edges. Although because it's still oversized, it doesn't need that yet. It's going to have to be worked still some more. Oh man, that's it. I'm beat. What do you got? You found a stick very quickly, didn't you? Yes. Good girl. I stopped by the local recycle shop this morning and picked up a big old pot, measuring cup, a ladle, and a lid. And this is really heavy duty. It's going to cook the insecticide anti-rot formula. My first attempt is still sludge, but I put the word out last night on a bulletin board, community board that I frequent, and a guy came back with tips and techniques specifically around the boiling temperature and the time of boiling. So I'm going to try it again in the more fancy pot. I have to go home and get my high temp thermometer, which I generally use when I deep fry my turkeys. And I don't know if I want to sacrifice that beautiful thermometer that I've been friends with for many years now to this wood preservative, but we'll see. Yeah, so with the excavator out of commission for the time being, until I get 2 new hoses, I can't lift these things up to the work area. These tie beams are 6x8s, and they're green, so they're really heavy. Amy and I tried to bring up one. Well, we successfully did bring up one, but yeah, I don't want to do that again. all the sawdust. Kind of liking it the more I look at it. You know, it really does look quite organic right now with the water and the shadow from the sun. It looks like a wrinkled sheet. And this is just 5 minutes of working this. You know, first I started with an adze, which I bought a couple years ago anyway. I've never used it. I don't know how to use it. It wasn't factory sharpened, so I had to sharpen it. And it's way too dull still, and you saw it chewing up the wood pretty aggressively. So I put the adze down and grabbed my grinding wheel. And this I've had for a couple years also, which I've never used. But I've seen wood carvers on YouTube using this kind of wheel a lot. And I'm impressed. It really worked well. Quick and easy. That's what I like. So this grinding wheel, or carving wheel, I think it's called, worked really good. And then just the most basic sanding. I think I've got 120 grit on there. And I did less than a couple of minutes. And I got the organic surface that I was kind of looking for. I had imagined this. So I'm quite pleased with this little experiment. I kind of want to just get some little texture into the wood. And I quite like this. So I'm not committed yet to it, but I like the experiment. And I'm going to possibly see where it goes. There we go. Into the oil bucket. Into the oil bucket. So I managed to buy 2 hoses from Komatsu. Each of them were about $200. So $400 for the 2 hoses. Then I found this one online and I bought it. It was 60 bucks. It's the wrong size. So I'm returning it and buying another one, which is I hope the right size, and it's actually only $45. But I wanted to get the two, Komatsu brand first, just to make sure I understood what they were. And in fact, it looks like from a pressure rating, the Komatsu ones might be quite a bit stronger than the off-market ones, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Okay, so I've managed to take off my two hoses. This one for the short connection, which is the upper part of the cylinder, and this one is for the long connection, which is the lower part of the cylinder. I'm going to reconnect them now. First, I'm going to go look for some pipe tape, some thread tape, and then once I get them reconnected and reattached to the boom and all secured down and done, I'll check the level of the hydraulic oil. But really, I did not lose hardly any. I let the pressure off before I started all this. So regular viewers will have heard me many times bemoan the fact that I'm not mechanically literate. And this was unnerving to begin with, of course, it always is, but it's really straightforward. It's just undoing a couple of nuts and making sure you have the right equipment beforehand, and then having a few extra tools on hand as well. So now I'm confident that when the time comes, I can replace all the hoses. And it might break the bank a little bit, but when I figure out how to get the cheap ones of the right size, then I'll be golden. Okay, I've got some help coming today, just for a couple of hours, and that's going to be helpful because I've got to get my lumber sorted for these tie beams. I just received the very last load of lumber, as far as I could imagine, just arrived this morning. This is for the rafters, and we're a couple weeks away from them. But I need space. They're sitting on the road right now. I need space for them up here at landing zone level. So I'm going to get all of my tie beams. There's eight more of those big honking 6x8s right there. I'm going to get them up to the bird's nest area and try to make a little space here, get some lumber off of the mountain escalator platform down below, get it up here to put in that empty space, and then get my rafters off the road and onto the escalator platform. So I've never been able to identify this wood. It's got this bright yellow core, and it's heavy, dense wood. And I was thinking actually this was rotten, but just the outer bark is rotten. The inner core is just still solid as rock. So I've got about 3 meters, almost 10 feet of windy log here, and I'm looking for a few accent pieces to use inside the house. So I may try to preserve this or that one. Perfect. Back up just a bit. And there. Okay, now let's just drop it down.
So it looks like Otani won his World Series. Come over here. Come here, baby. Come. Let's wait right here. Come. Here. Come on.
Well, I got so much done today. No cutting, no actual carpentry, but so much of the logistics with the help of my buddy Chris. Wow, it's amazing how fast things go with two people. He saved so much time in, handling the slings, for example. When I'm alone, I have to jump out of the cab, back into the cab, out of the cab, into the cab countless times to adjust slings and stuff. And he just made that happen so much faster. So thank you, Chris, for coming today. But now I'm also ready I've got all of my tie beam raw beams here up at the bird's nest level. And all I have to do is wheel them into the working area, cut the two tenons. Of course, I have to plane them and make them pretty and mark them, but cut the two tenons and stack them away. Let's move on.